What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron from Double A Sports, and I am back for another video. And today, NFL is back, baby. And now, my yearly NFL predictions is back. Tonight, the Cowboys are playing the Buccaneers. So I thought, why not give my NFL predictions today? So, here we go. I'm going to do division by division and give you guys my prediction, Super Bowl prediction, playoff prediction, all that other stuff. So here we go. So let's go NFC East. And we have Cowboys, Washington football team, Giants, and Eagles. I think the Eagles will finish with the worst record. I think the Giants will then be the third worst. Cowboys will be the second worst, and I have the Washington football team having the best record at 10-7. Cowboys will have a 9-8 record. The Giants will have a 6-11 record, and I have the Eagles having a 5-12. I think that's what it is, because 17 season. Yeah, 5-12 record. So that's the NFC East right there. That's what I have. Washington football team winning the division with 10-7. And then let's go to the NFC South. We have Tampa Bay. We have New Orleans Saints. We have Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, I'm going to have the Atlanta Falcons last. I'm going to have the Carolina Panthers third, New Orleans Saints second, and I'm going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers number one. I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the division with a 12-5 record. I have the New Orleans Saints in second place with a 9-8 record. I have the Carolina Panthers with a 8-9 record, and then I have the Atlanta Falcons with a, I think it's 4-13 record. So that's the NFC South. Got Tampa Bay winning. Let's move over to the NFC North. We have Green Bay, we have Chicago, Minnesota, and who am I forgetting? Detroit. How could I forget about Detroit, right? Okay, so obviously I'm going to have Detroit last. Then I'm going to have Minnesota third. I'm going to have Chicago second. And I'm going to have the Green Bay Packers first. And I believe the Green Bay Packers will finish with a 14-3 record. Yeah, I know I sound very crazy, but you know, Green Bay, I just think that they're loaded on offense. The division is just awful, and they're going to take just full advantage of it. And then all you have to worry about is a few teams. So I think 14-3, 13-4 is justifiable. Then I have the Chicago Bears at around 9-8. I just think that they have enough talent to at least win 9 games. I think that in the middle of the season, they're going to have to change quarterbacks to Justin Fields. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to be the quarterback for the whole year. And because of that, because they're going to have to change quarterbacks, that means the Chicago Bears are going to be losing games. And I believe when Justin Fields gets to be the quarterback, that they're going to start winning again. But it's going to be too late, and they're only going to be able to win 9 games. And then obviously with the Minnesota Vikings, the COVID situation, them in the past years losing defensive players and position players as well, I think that they're going to finish with a 7-10 record, I believe that. Yeah, 7-10 record for 70 games. And then I have the Detroit Lions, the god-awful Detroit Lions. And what would it be, 5? I have them winning 5 games, so it would be 5-12. And that is NFC North. Now let's go to the NFC West, and we have Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles Rams, and Arizona Cardinals. And here are my rankings. I have the Los Angeles Rams at number 1, Seattle Seahawks at number 2, Arizona Cardinals at number 3, and 49ers at number 4. Now, hear me out. I think that, again, one of the things why I have the 49ers ranked so low, I just think that, number 1, they've lost a couple of players, a couple of key players from that Super Bowl contending team a couple of years ago that were very important, like Solomon Thomas, Forrest Buckner, Richard Sherman. You know, just guys that were impact players that are gone now. And Obviously, you have the whole situation with Jimmy Garoppolo and him being up and down. It's a lot of drama around that. And then you have Trey Lance as well. So I think that the 49ers this is going to be a season where we're going to see them just take a dip per se, because of the whole drama and because they lost a lot of key players as well. And so I have them at last place. I have them winning, I would say, 8 games. I would give them 8 games. Yeah, I would give them 8 games because I just think that I give them the respect that they deserve. So they'd be 8-9. Arizona Cardinals, I give them 10 wins, so they'd be 10-7. I give Seattle what they would be, I would say 11-6. I'll give them 11-6. And I would give the Rams, I would have them at 12-5. So those are my rankings for the NFC West, and that's it for the NFC side. So let's go to the AFC, and let's start off with the AFC North, and that is Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and the Steelers. So number 1, no question about it, it's going to be Baltimore. Number 2 is going to be Cleveland. Number 3 is going to be Steelers. And number 4 is going to be the Bengals. And so for the Baltimore Ravens, I have them winning 13 games. I think they're going to win about, 13. They're going to be 13-4. And then I have Cleveland winning, I have them winning around 11 games. So I have them at like 11-6. Yeah, 11-6. Steelers, I have them at 8-9. And the Bengals, I have them at 5-12. So that's my rankings for the NFC. I said NFC, AFC North. And now let's get to the AFC East, where we have Patriots, we have the Dolphins, Bills, and then we have the New York Jets. Bills. So I would have the Bills winning 13 games. They'd be 13-4. I would have the Patriots winning 11 games at 11-6. Then I would have the Dolphins winning 10 games, 10-7. And I have the New York Jets winning 5 games, so that'd be 5-12. So that's my AFC East predictions. And so now let's get to AFC South, and this is just a terrible division. And it's the Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, it's the Titans, and it's the Jaguars. So number 1, I would go with the Titans. Number 2, I would go with the Colts. Number 3, I would go with the Jaguars. And number 4, I would go with the Texans. Now this is pretty simple. It's simple, self-explanatory itself. And reason, obviously, Titans, they have a lot of talent. They added Julio Jones. They added a couple other pieces as well. And Ryan Tannehill, he's pretty good at quarterback. A.J. Brown, he's a phenomenal receiver. And you have King Henry himself, Derrick Henry, the cheat code that he is, the next beast mode. So I have them number 1, and I have them winning, I would say, 11 games. So I would give them 11-6. And then I have the Colts number 2. I would have them winning 10-7. There's a lot of question marks when it comes to Carson Wentz and his durability, and also Colts. The situation with COVID, the coronavirus, is very serious. So there's a lot of question marks with that as well. So I would just say 10 wins would be probably the safe bet. And then you have the Jaguars, right? And I would have them winning. I would have them winning 6 games, so they'd be 6-11. I just think that they don't have the talent. And Urban Meyer, first-year head coach, I don't like some of the things that he's been doing in preseason. It's been kind of weird, and just not a lot of talent. So I just give them 6-11. And then the Texans, it's self-explanatory. They're not very good. They don't have a lot of talent. I'm going to give them 4 wins. So I'm going to give them 4-13. The whole situation with Deshaun Watson, even when Deshaun Watson was starting, they were awful. And I think they only won 4 games, even with him starting. So there we have it for the AFC South. And now let's get to the final division. It's the AFC West. And we have the Chiefs, Raiders, the Chargers, and the Broncos. We already know. Like, do I really have to explain myself who's going to be number 1? Like, it's obviously the Chiefs. But then at number 2 is an interesting one, because you have 3 teams that they could potentially be number 2. So I would say the Los Angeles Chargers at number 2 because of Justin Herbert. I like their offense, and last year they were in most of the games. It's just execution down late was really what hurt them. So I think that this year they will correct those mistakes, and I think that they'll win some of those close games, and I believe that they'll finish in 2nd. 3rd, I give the Denver Broncos, and 4th, I'm going to say the Raiders. That John Gruden whole experience is just downhill, and I think it's going to get even worse. So those are the AFC West, right? And I think that the Chiefs are going to win 14 games. They're going to be 14-3. I think that the Los Angeles Chargers will win 10 games at 10-7. I think that the Denver Broncos will win 9 games at 9-8. And the Raiders, excuse me, I said Los Angeles Raiders. Yeah, Las Vegas Raiders. They will win 8 games, so 8-9. So those are my predictions for the division. So now, who is going to represent in the Super Bowl from both conferences? So I have, drum roll please, the Chiefs from the AFC, and from the NFC, I have the Green Bay Packers. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, Green Bay Packers, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are you doing, Aaron? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers brought back everybody. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a better roster. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat them last year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have Tom Brady, the greatest player of all time, the most clutch player of all time, and you picking Green Bay over them? Let me explain. Number one, when was the last time that 2 teams that represented their conferences for the Super Bowl last year made it to the Super Bowl? I can't think of. It's been a long time because I can't remember the last time that has happened. I don't think it's ever happened since maybe 1970. Like, I don't think it's ever happened. So that's one thing. One team is going to be left out. I'm already claiming it right now, and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be left out because of this reason. I think that, number one, the Green Bay Packers, they have good enough talent where they can potentially beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because if you watch the playoff game, you could tell by the end of the game that there was points in the game where they had the opportunity to win it. It's just coaching mistakes, Aaron Rodgers not scrambling to the end zone when he could have, and then also the cornerback Kevin King not doing his job and just getting burnt every damn play that you think of from Mike Evans and what's his name, Scotty Miller. So it was just a couple of key mistakes that they made that I believe if they were able to correct those mistakes, they could potentially beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that they will correct those mistakes this year. They drafted a cornerback in the first round to make sure that they have quality depth at that position because they didn't have that last year. And then they still brought back everybody. They still have Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon is pretty decent as well. So they have a solid running game. Although they lost, I believe it was their center, they still have a good enough offensive line. Bakhtiari will eventually come back. You still have a good receiving core. You still have Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan. And again, they got rid of Mike Pettin. They replaced him with a different DC. So I'm expecting a better result, especially when it comes to the playoffs. And again, you have Matt LaFleur, and he's a very good offensive-minded head coach. And you see Aaron Rodgers, he's happy right now. There's no animosity, as we know it, with the Packers organization. So I think that, again, Super Bowl hangover, Tom Brady's getting up there in age, and just seeing how the game unfolded in the playoffs, I think that Green Bay can correct those mistakes that are easily correctable if they just make sure that they play efficient football. So that's what I'm looking at. You guys could debunk my argument all you want. It may sound ridiculous, but that's how I'm looking at it. And I just think that the NFC is going to have the Green Bay Packers this year represented and not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Packers in the Super Bowl. Mahomes versus Rodgers, like everybody wanted. And I think that who is going to win the Super Bowl? I think it's going to be the Green Bay Packers. And here's why. Because the Green Bay Packers are one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. Defense is pretty solid. Offense is elite. Like, it was ranked #1 last year, and they have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers. He was the MVP last year, still is like that, threw like 44 touchdowns, nearly 5,000 yards. Like, he's still that guy. Yeah, they have Patrick Mahomes on the other side. Yeah, they have that elite offense, but their defense can be had, as we saw with Tampa Bay. And because the Green Bay Packers have a really good offensive line and a really good running game, they can attack that rushing defense from the Kansas City Chiefs. And I believe that the Green Bay Packers will win the Super Bowl this year, and Aaron Rodgers will finally get that monkey off his back, and he could be in the same room as Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Joe Montana, and you name it, all these other quarterbacks, and people will stop tarnishing Aaron Rodgers' legacy. So those are my predictions for the NFL season, and I cannot wait because it's going to be a hell of a ride. And man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you disagree, hey, that's on you. But thank you guys for watching this video, and peace.